Hello and welcome to this special podcast. We have with us Parijat Dey. She is the CTO of Mahindra Lifespaces. Hi ma'am, how are you doing today?
Very well, Pallavi. How are you?
I'm good. Ma'am, my first question for you would be, every digital transformation starts with a baseline. So where did Mahindra Lifespaces begin in its modern data journey, and what did that initial baseline actually look like for you?
Great question, and thank you for that, Pallavi. So, like any organization, right, you go through the phases of digitization, then digitalization, right? And we made a similar journey on first making sure that we create a system of records. And for us, for example, our CRM, which is our Salesforce system, our financial record keeping, which is the SAP system, right? These are our system of records. So our first act was to create that ecosystem, that connected ecosystem of digital tools and technologies that we could then lay the concrete foundation on and build these small little applications on, right? And that is where we really got started in that.
A transformation requires a big team. It doesn't happen in isolation. You've spoken about a partnership with Unreal that accelerated this evolution, right? What has made this collaboration so unique for you at Mahindra Lifespaces?
So this is a collaboration that we did during COVID times, and it's a very interesting use case, right? Because we are in the business of selling houses, and when you do that, this is the single largest purchase that any Indian person makes during their lifetime. And therefore, how do you sell a home that you cannot go visit, touch, see, feel? It's a product that you can experience. And it was during that time that we decided to kind of elevate that experience and give that trust to customers and bring the experience closer to them, right? This partnership with Unreal was instrumental in doing that. We were able to create 3D holograms, and it was very simple, akin to wearing a glass, seeing that flat of yours in 3D vision. And in fact, the chief architect of Unreal was here very closely working with us on that front. Those are the kind of experiences, the kind of moments that we are very focused on creating for our customers. So it's always customer first. How does technology reduce friction and bring the product closer to the customer, right?
So usually they say real estate is very physical, right? Yeah. But you have venture into the metaverse as well. Yeah. So what was the core business driver behind that?
Again, the metaverse use case was to provide a customer. We have NRI customers. How do they get to experience the product sitting across oceans? And it was with that lens that we wanted to create an immersive experience. Everything that we do at Mahindra Lifespaces is with customer first concept. It has to create business value. Every tech decision, therefore, that we take it with that in mind. So whether it is the experience with hologram, whether the experience with metaverse, we are always looking at how do you create that unique wow factor that the customer would look at and be able to dream their future in as they walk into those homes, right?
Definitely it's important because how else would you know something is being built that way without seeing it before, right? Next question, it's something that we are moving into from screen to physical automation as well. So from virtual spaces to real world operations, how are robotics and agentic AI actually reshaping the construction or site management in your case?
Yeah, so massive contribution. But it is not just about robotics or AI or agentic AI. It's also about creating a robust digital ecosystem, right? So how do you, and at construction sites, there are multiple parties that are involved. You have your design teams, you have your projects team, you have your costing teams, and you need to be able to take decisions in the real time. For that, you have to have a platform that is telling you where your projects stands as on date. What kind of interactions and decisions have you taken, say, between projects and designs, right? What was the reasoning behind those decisions? Very important to have data-backed insight taken. So while, yes, we are doing a lot on robotics in terms of understanding what is out there, how does that add value, how am I able to deliver a home on quality, on time to my customer, the underlying layer continues to be these robust platforms that we have to build on. And then robotics comes in, right? Can I automate some of these tasks, and can I have automated painting, right? But what is the quality that it delivers? Because at the end, for my customer, it's that dream come true, right? It has to be with quality. That is what we are obsessed about.
Definitely. So advanced projects and models usually fail instantly and on bad inputs and outputs. So what is data quality mattering in this space, and how is it the make or break factor for managing the site or technologies in emerging?
Very important. Data quality is very important. The quality of data, the governance that you put in around data, the guardrails around data, to define each component of that data, very important. It's not just about AI. Even with basic reporting that you build on that data, right? You are only able to take decisions when you have the right set of data backing those insights. And in AI, it becomes even more critical because your models is as good as the data powering that model. If that data is diluted, if the data has bias, if the data has too much noise in it, your models will reflect the same thing, and your decision making capability will come down. So at the heart of everything that we do, the governance part around data continues to be of paramount importance.
Well, you talked about a consumer being the king, right? So how do you ensure that every digital investment maps strictly back to serving the clients better, and rather than you just implementing AI for the sake of it? Like, what's something that comes back on it?
See, as a technologist, obviously, and the pace with which technology is moving, right? You want to experiment with everything. But we have very strong guardrails around what is it that we want to do. Even where we experiment or do proof of concepts around, we have very strong business case on how will it help my customer. At the end of the day, we are not running a passion project. We are running somebody else's dreams, right? So every investment that we make, we want to ensure that it goes back in benefiting my company and benefiting my customer, therefore. And that is at the heart of any experimentation that we do. We will not implement technology for the sake of implementing technology. Just because it's a new buzzword, it looks nice and fancy, let's go ahead and do it. We don't operate that way. There has to be a strong business case backing every technology investment, and technology coexists with business. We don't exist in isolation.
Definitely. As you rightly mentioned earlier as well, that it requires a team, and it is not in isolation, definitely. Now the true test of innovation is the end user impact, as we've spoken about the customer being happy. So how is this ecosystem of AI and automation tangibly improving home buying or living experience for your customers?
So we spoke about the Metaverse experience, right? There are proof of concepts that we are running to see how can computer vision auto detect defects in a building. Now, when you take a home from Mahindra Lifespaces, you want that home to be perfect, right? So we are using technology as a human plus platform to make those better decisions. Can we detect some of these snags, as we call it, early on in the life cycle? Can we fix them early on in the life cycle before it goes to customer from a possession standpoint, right? There are these little interventions that we made, whether it is during the sales process or during the waiting period or during the possession period, that becomes extremely important in the entire customer journey, because it's not just about the home that you buy at the end of the day. It's also the entire experience that you have had for the 4 years that you've been waiting as we build a home for our customers.
Well, you just spoke about the Metaverse thing, right? So visual data is a gold mine in construction sites. So how does your company leverage computer vision on the ground to optimize safety, utility, and the timelines as well?
Absolutely, and quality and safety, very important factors for us, right? So we are looking at I spoke about the use case on detecting snags in an apartment. We are looking at using computer vision, machine learning technology to look at auto-detecting that snag instead of somebody going and manually detecting it, right? That way you are able to figure it out and identify them early on in the stage, in the life cycle. The second thing is we have camera vision technology that we are now exploring around to see, hey, have all of you worn your safety gears properly, right? Are you in a safe zone? Do you have your helmet on? Is there a group of people who are congregating at a particular location? Is that a safety hazard or not? Each of these parts are being mapped at this point in time, but very experimentative right now. However, given our obsession with quality and safety, this is definitely a way that we want to explore.
That's great. Technology usually has a gender gap People usually associate that with men. Men know a lot more about tech, but I think we have one example sitting right in front of us. So what is the most critical step that organizations must take to actively champion and scale women leadership in this sector as well?
And I would argue that it is sector agnostic, right? It is there everywhere, and we need to champion for more women in the workforce starting from the get-go. Because if you look at statistics, they don't drop off at a certain level. They start dropping off from the entry onwards, right? Therefore, how do you create an ecosystem where they feel welcome? How do you have programs where they can join back, right? How do you have flexibility that allows for a woman to really flourish? Because each one of us have unique challenges. How do you create a mentorship program that supports and sustains some of these expectations, right? I think creating that network, supporting each other, making sure that the unique needs are addressed and not just sidelined is very important. The second thing is, I think we should start talking about biases also, right? Because some of the biases are not even known to me. But when somebody recognizes those biases in you, you tend to sit back and think, oh, wow, okay, yes, my decision making had a bias in it, right? And without acknowledging them, they will penetrate in every walk of our life. I think very important for each leader, regardless of their gender, to educate ourselves on some of these biases that exist in the ecosystem because of the kind of ecosystem that we live in, and talk openly about it. So as Mahindra Lifespaces and as part of the larger group, we are very, very particular about that. And we have policies in place, we have the support network in place, we have mentorship program, we have leadership program that we are very passionate about running to make sure that the support system gets created.
Well, I think it's a given because you are the CTO there. Well, that was a great conversation. Thank you so much, ma'am, for joining us.
Thank you so much. It was lovely talking to you too.
Thank you.